think we're live. Sorry for the delay, YouTube, Facebook. Come on. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Sorry I had a little bit of a delay between kind of the 229 post and today. I'm actually calling this 3-2, so this is Saturday's going live. Had a few things kind of get in my way from getting in before midnight, but it's all good. That's the key to living a life you love. It's going to be a little bit full sometimes. I don't know if I love the way this hat's fitting right now. It doesn't really fit. I'm on like the last strap. It's going to be hard to see, yeah. So I can't wear it backwards or it looks like crazy. But frontwards right now looks kind of like a trucker's cap. We're just going to rock it, so deal with my trucker look. But yeah, so welcome to the show. It's the Daily Shane D. We're back at it. This is for Saturday, March 2nd. You know, we have T-minus 11 days to my birthday. I guess now we're in 10, March 13th. Definitely send me a birthday gift. I would love that. Even just a nice birthday note. You know what I mean? Texts are fine. Obviously, you see Facebook gets less and less nowadays. But I always love good Facebook happy birthdays from everyone. All right, so I'm kind of noticing right now my camera's a little off for Instagram. So I'll have to put in the middle there. Actually, like knock the camera down. Yeah, cool. So let's get to the daily quote. Bang it out. Hopefully everyone's had a good night. Anyone watching this on Sunday morning, che. Hopefully you went to church. Kind of joking, but also, you know, always good to go to church. So, I don't know. Anyways, so 2 quotes for the day. Kind of got really late posting. I actually haven't posted the last 2 days' quotes on Instagram, so you probably haven't seen them, but we'll get there. So, went with quotes from literature instead of like direct quotes from people this time. So you could kind of quote this one for Tolkien, but we're going to rip it anyway. So it goes, "I wish it need not happen in my time," said Frodo. "So do I," said Gandalf, "and so do all those who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that's given to us." That's Gandalf, or I guess Tolkien. And then the other one comes from Atticus Finch, which is To Kill a Mockingbird, and it goes, "Mockingbirds don't do one thing but make music for us to enjoy. They don't eat up people's gardens, don't nest in corncribs. They don't do one thing but sing their hearts out for us. That's why it's a sin to kill a mockingbird." That's Atticus Finch. I don't really know how that fits in there. I'm not going to lie. I just kind of went at it, got 2 quotes, posted them. Usually I kind of have 1 quote for the theme of this one. But I don't know. I just see is that like you kind of, you know, you can't like decide things are out of your control. All you can do is decide like what to do when things happen to you and like how you want to react to them. The other one really is just like, you know, like certain people like we gotta protect. You know, I think we've allowed a lot of innocence to die. Seen it in our kids nowadays and stuff like that with social media and having access to so much information that I think in a lot of ways childhood and innocence isn't quite as strong as it once was. I apologize. I actually am going to notice now how much I look down because my camera won't have my face on it. So we'll see. I'll do better to look at the camera. I'm going to open up my other window. Cool. So some lessons that I've learned or been learning. Life is full of ups and downs. Like, it's totally okay to be down sometimes. You don't have to be overly positive. I think a lot of ways, if you force yourself to be always positive, that's not a great way of living either. So balance the good with the bad, the happy with the sad, the calm with the mad. Not sure what else you want to say, but I do think it's important. That's one thing my dad's good at. Sometimes he's angry a little too much, but he just gets rid of it, so he doesn't really pent it up. So he says. But yeah, so that's one thing. Kind of made me laugh. Worth saying now, there is going to be a late night Shane show. We'll try to keep both of them quick, but we do have some updates that are a little bit not safe for work, so going to keep that off my Facebook. Sorry, anyone who's just a Facebook follower. If you are a true fan and want to check it out, feel free to add my Shane D Comedy on Instagram. Also on YouTube, I do stream kind of the live performance of that. Cool. So the next part of kind of lesson learned, failure is not fatal, right? And like that's something Churchill said. But what's important about it is just that, like, it's not the end when you fail. Failure's not going to kill you. In fact, it makes you stronger. Like, part of living is risking enough where you can fail. If you don't risk these types of things, I think you'll start to live kind of a boring life in a lot of ways. That doesn't mean, like, everything has to be risky, crazy, jumping out of airplanes. But I do think it's about taking chances, getting outside your comfort zone. Wow, the glare on my glasses really got it there. But getting outside your comfort zone, that's how you live a great life and a really fulfilling life. Also, just realizing life is short, and I'll get into kind of some of these lessons tie into like what happened to me recently, and just hearing a story of like someone who, you know, raising a kid with someone and their ex-husband dies, and now suddenly they're all alone. It's just like, wow, like you really don't know Like nothing's guaranteed. Basically what I say here is like be present because the future you can't change, or sorry, the past you can't change. You can't change the future either, really, 100%. But really, with the let me take a step back and say the quote fully. So be present. You can't change the past, and the future's not certain. So just really, it's important to be present, enjoy the moment, and just start to see like almost like every moment in your life is like a, a film in a movie or in a scene in a film that you'll never watch again. And that's kind of something what's beautiful about life and very interesting at the same time. Yeah, and then the last thing just worth noting is like living a life you love doesn't mean you have zero stress. Like you're going to still have stress, but what it kind of feels like to me is sort of like the pressure you get when you're competing in a sport or like some sort of competition, and you can either let that pressure break you and make you non-existent and non-performing, or you can thrive off it and really like succeed. And all the times I played sports, even though I was really competitive and wanted to win, it wasn't like stressful necessarily. I don't think often it was, especially not in high school sports. So I think that's how life has been for me lately. It's not quite stressful isn't the right word, but the pressure's on because I'm up to big things and I'm on the court performing and not just sitting in the stands watching where it's stress free. Part of getting your heart racing is that enjoyment and stuff like that. So that's the lessons learned. Now we're going to go into kind of what happened over the last 2 days. I'm not going to go too much into detail on some things. Those will be more for the Shane D comedy show, but we'll kind of give some major updates. So Friday I played golf. I did much better. I played with a solo and my dad. We were in the league. I actually hit a 50 in 9. Not great, but could be a lot worse, right? And maybe had like one real mulligan. Was putting absolutely lights out. Like phenomenal putting game. Really impressive. I enjoyed it, no doubt. Awesome. So there was that. Still need to practice more. Would love to get to the range. Have not been hitting perfect. Hitting a lot of hooks. So everything's just kind of going off to the left. You can live with that, but honestly, a lot of courses, at least the ones I played, seems like played it dog leg right. So I'm like screwing myself going left. It's like it's safe, not in the trees, but then I have a long way back, which just makes me kind of lose a stroke there every time. Awesome. Baseball got canceled Friday, so Coastal Baseball did not happen. There was a lot of rain came in, so they ended up canceling it. So Timmy and his girlfriend actually went to Island Bar for dinner. I ended up meeting up with them, and no one won the Friday prize, unfortunately, but that just means next week there's a chance, so we'll see. Neil and Pam's. I went there and actually had an interesting time. So got some food there. Was trying to just see some coworkers or like people that are familiar faces. Went solo, which I'm pretty good at going solo, but it can be awkward. It can be, I want to say like arduous is the word. Maybe I just sound like a fool, but it can be taxing, right? Like you're like, oh, I look weird. I have to sit there and kind of be quiet. You can be friendly with people, but at a certain point you can like overstay your welcome too. So it's like about finding that kind of balance and maintaining it. So yeah. Anyways, as I'm looking for a seat, I'm kind of like creeping around the room, trying not to make eye contact with too many people. I'm just looking to see like, is there a seat open? Is there a seat open? It's weird. It sounded like a bird, but I think it was my teeth just whistling. I'm going crazy, folks. But yeah, so I'm looking for a seat. Suddenly I turn behind me and these two girls are leaving, and I'd made eye contact with kind of them a couple times, but not like a whole lot. And as I'm leaving, or sorry, as she's leaving, I'm like, oh, you guys heading out? Like, do you mind if I take this seat? And she's like, oh yeah, no, you can have both of these seats. Like, get a cute girl there or something like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, I'm just trying to get a bite to eat. No big deal. Like, didn't really know how to answer. So I'm like, I'm not gonna like save an extra seat that's not mine. But so eventually, she's like, oh, you're cute. How old are you? And I'm just like, I have this weird thought for a moment where I'm like, do I lie and say I'm like 35? Because then I'll be old enough to potentially have a chance with this girl. And I'm like, I'm just not a liar. So like the truth came out, and I'm just like, I'm 30, which actually that's even a lie, because then I always end up telling people, well, I'm 29 turning 30, and then you just see me even more younger when you say that. But so I told her I'm 30, and then she's like, oh, you're too young for me. And I'm like, what do you mean? What are you, like 35? And she looked older than 35 probably, but not like much older than like 40, right? And so I just knew that 35 would make her maybe feel better. And she's like, try 10 more years. And then I'm like, why do I keep like having these 45-year-olds and 46-year-olds that are into me? Not sure. There's something wrong with me or something right with me, and I just don't know how to close with it. But that was nice of her. And then she's just like, oh yeah, save my seat. Like, I might be coming back. And I'm just like, she's not coming back. Like, there's no way. She's already kind of drunk, whatever. But so she leaves. And then I'm about to leave after I eat food. So I eat my meal, whatever. This other guy sat down at the bar seat next to me named Joe. He's like an Uber driver. Good guy. And then, yeah, sure enough, as I'm leaving, she's there. Okay. And just like we start talking, she's flirting with me. I actually told someone else I was going to be leaving soon. And then I end up staying like a good like hour more. So the guy's like, oh, I thought you were leaving. I was like, oh, my bad. I'm flirting with this girl. Just like very upfront, confident. Confidence was there, which was nice. Always good game there, confident wise. But really, I wasn't pursuing because, like, when they already say to you, like, oh, you're too young for me, like, I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, do you just have to, like, push it to the limit? I'm not sure. I'm like, this is only maybe my third or fourth time where that was like, someone said that after saying, like, oh, you're really good looking or whatever. And I'm like, what is that final thing that I got to do to close the deal? I'm not sure yet. So, anyways, we get to a point where then she later says she has, like, a boyfriend. So I'm like, oh, she's definitely off limits. But we're, like, talking, like, I'm like, sounds like she wants to actually do something, but I wouldn't cross that line anyways. Anyways, we agree that we'll be friends and ended up meeting a good friend there. If you want to hear a little bit more details about the interesting night, definitely check out Shane D, the Late Night Shane Show. We'll go into that. Nothing totally raunchy happened. Like, we are still very much friend zone and stuff like that. But in all honesty, like, I kind of do that anyways, even when I'm, like, going out with a Hinge or Tinder. Almost a Grinder, imagine. No, that's a good joke. But no, I do not have Grinder. But people that I go out on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge with, I usually say, like, I just want to be friends first, go get coffee, see how it is. That works great anyways, because if it's not feeling it, the person's not quite what they look like, you just be like, hey, honestly, I thought it was great talking to you. I'd love to talk to you more. We should be friends. It's 50-50 whether you actually ever connect again. Some of my good friends down here actually kind of started like that. And yeah, so always good to meet friends that way. And if it goes the other way, it actually is like just a great foot in the door. And then you kind of seem like a genuine guy. I just am a genuine guy, but that's one line I found that like highlights my genuineness. So feel free to take that game. I still haven't nailed down the game of how to pick up an older chick, nor do I know if I want to long term, but I wouldn't mind having a little fun with an old lady, making her have a good night. And sorry, this shouldn't be on Facebook, so erase that from your memory, guys. People watching, I'm looking for age-appropriate relationships, but I'm 30, so I'm an adult. I don't know what to say. It is what it is. Anyways, going. That was the end of my Saturday night, or Friday night rather. Stayed out a little later than I expected to. I just kind of realized I'm still not as center as I'd like to be. I don't know exactly how the camera needs to be. Just want to fix it for Instagram a little bit. But anyways, today woke up, really productive morning, got a ton done. I called my dad about 12 o'clock because we were about to go to the Coastal game. There's a double header because the game got rained out. Turns out only one game today at 4. He at first says he's not going to go, and I have to find someone to go with me, which is fine. I'm like, I'm not going to find anyone anyways. So I'm just plugging away, doing a ton of work for my clients, crushing client work. And I get to the point where it's like, I want to say like 3:20, 3:30, and that's the point where I probably should have went to the actual game, because that's like, if you want to catch the game's at 4. And I'm like, I'm just going to probably head there around like 4:15. If I miss an inning or 2 or 3, who really cares? Like, I got work to do. It'd be good to get it down. So suddenly 3:30, Timmy D calls. He's like, hey, did you get someone to fill the tickets? I'm like, no, I've been really busy. He's like, all right, I'm on the way now. And I'm like, oh, fuck, like I got to get ready and go. And so, yeah, we ended up going to the Coastal game, kind of put some things aside. Do I talk about the Coastal game here? Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I'll go back. Hopefully I remember. If not, I'll forget it and whatever. But there's something interesting about some of the client work I did. A little helpless promotion for me, but worth shouting out because some great opportunities. Anyways, Coastal baseball, we're in it. It's first inning we missed because we showed up a little late. We didn't leave on time. So be it. Missed a little bit of the first inning. Suddenly we get there, and like 2 innings in, 3 innings in, third inning, the pitcher's not doing great. He ends up letting up like 4 or 5 runs, and we're trailing basically the rest of the game from that point on. We have one big inning where we bring it back to like 6-5, and we ride that out until the 8th inning, maybe the 9th inning. I think it was the 8th inning, to be honest. And then we let up a home run. And that's just like, oh man, 2 runs is tough. Bats haven't been great today. There was a couple good innings, a couple errors we let up, that helped them get points that they shouldn't have had. Anyways, ninth inning, bottom of the ninth, they're down 2. Okay, it's 7-5, and I think it's with 1 out. Yeah, we have 1 out, and we get a guy on first. Then we get a guy on second, and then I think they hit a guy, and then it's bases loaded, and there's all this like the coach is getting pissed, blah blah blah, and bases are loaded, and there's only 1 out. Guy gets up and freaking strikes out, full count, like swinging for the fences. One of the best home run hitters they have strikes out. Up comes the number 5 hitter, and we're just sitting there. Timmy D's like screaming at the pitcher. Basically, he's like, I think he called him like raga arm. He basically said like rag for arm. I thought that was the guy's last name for a second. At first, I thought he was like having a stroke and trying to say Graham because Graham was at bat. And he's like, rag arm. You know, don't let up a hitter. They're going to win. Like, base hit and they win, and we win. Turns out he's talking to the pitcher. Pitcher throws first ball strike. Second ball throws down freaking Graham. Knocks it right to the freaking between the shortstop and the third baseman. I think the third baseman could have made a play, but he didn't. I actually lied. So it wasn't first strike. I think either first strike he threw, then he threw a wild pitch, and the guy scored from third, and all the base runners advanced. So you have second and third. That's why Timmy D's yelling rag arm or whatever, saying like base hit wins it because the guy's on second base. So then the guy hits that perfect hit in between short and friggin' third. Shortstop doesn't make a play. He's been making good plays all day. And sure enough, Graham hit the walk-off. So that's how the Coastal baseball game ended, which was awesome. Loved it. Yeah, so it was a great walk-off double. Now they're going into a doubleheader tomorrow. Timmy D's going to be at the first game, probably leave the second game. But it's awesome seeing games like that. So they're very exciting. I think right now they've only lost 2 games, which were kind of early on to some good teams. Unfortunate, but we're moving forward and we're definitely picking up. It's cool actually seeing pitchers that, you know, you don't really know, so you don't like be like, oh, that guy's a stud, and like not a whole lot of highlights on him. So it's cool seeing they have a great freshman pitching team, a couple freshmen that are making big moves. And then a lot of their team was actually juniors last year or sophomores. And so there's a really young team in there, which is awesome. There's actually 2 sophomores that play, and they're very good for the team. One was an All-American. Awesome. So going back to the point about just this morning and productive, I ran some analysis for a client. 2 bedrooms and 2 baths can be tough, especially for the price. But there's some 3-bedroom on golf communities that are actually great deals. Around not much more, like maybe like 15 to 20,000 more on average than the 2 bedrooms. But what you're getting is higher return on income because the amount that you make yearly is almost like double what you make with a 2-bedroom. But you have only let's say like a 25% more cost, right? So because of that, you end up just making a lot of money. Anyways, the point of me saying this, if you're interested, ton of great opportunities for under 250,000, some 3 bedrooms where right off the bat, the analysis that I've run looks like you're going to be profitable. I run a pretty tight ship in terms of like expecting the worst and hoping for the best, I think is what you say there. And yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, I've used data and models that are built by like Bigger Pockets and stuff like that. Some property managers locally that have kicked in like what numbers they would run. And so, yeah, just been excited to help them out. Have some great opportunities. Kind of felt like I hit a wall there. Anyways, when I got home, I played video games with a good friend of mine for a little bit, just like 2. And actually, right when I got home, my neighbor called me and invited me over. And he ended up making me food, which was awesome. So I got a nice little meal out of that. And he had some friends there, which I will again go into detail on the Late Night Shane show. We're at 18 minutes. That's actually about 8 minutes more than I wanted to be. Somehow I got stuck up rambling on. Apologies for anyone who listened to all this. Hopefully there's something valued there, especially at the beginning. Otherwise, just mostly a recap. And hey, I mean, 2 days worth of stuff. That's probably part of the reason why I went kind of 2 episodes worth. Anyways, keep it up, giving feedback, support. Give some love to someone close to you, someone you haven't talked to in a while. My challenge is reach out to them, give them some love. Nothing better than getting compliments, getting, just getting a good friend to reach out to you and stuff like that. Someone you really care about. Be genuine, be authentic. Hope everyone has a great Sunday. Go to church. If not, have a nice day of rest. Take some time to enjoy yourself. Spend time with family, friends, or even some alone time. Nothing's wrong with that. Don't beat yourself up for enjoying alone time.